Well, ladies and gentlemen, I as the Prime Minister from the government team would like to state that we are totally agree with this notion that this House, as the first generation immigrant, parent of a color in a predominantly white country, would choose to live and raise children in an ethnic enclave. I'm going to explain the definition of this motion first. The first one, there are two key words in here. It's first about the first generation immigrant. First generation immigrant refers to an immigrant who was foreign born, has relocated and become a citizen or a permanent resident in a new country. For example, Mexican American is someone who was born in Mexico and immigrated to the United States. And then the second, ethnic enclaves are communities with a high concentration of one ethnic group, maintaining a strong sense of ethnic or national identity within another country. Example, we have Chinatown, Koreatown, Little India, and also Little Italy. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start my argument with explaining or talking about why ethnic enclaves exist. First, seeing from the historical, the formation of ethnic enclaves has been a result of variety of socio-economic factors that draw immigrants to similar spaces in the receiving country. Cultural diversity brings together people who don't understand each other's language, especially, but a group can communicate easily with the neighbors in enclave itself. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to state that I'm really agree with this motion with the several arguments. The first one, as the first generation of an immigrant living in an ethnic enclave would give them much more impact because they still hold a strong sense of nationality and the cultural practice is still strong. Okay, first, going to the impact, I'm going to explain about the psychological side of the children or immigrant children itself. The researcher from Gajah Mada University who conduct a research in 2008 to 2010 entitled Children, Health, Migrant and Migrant Parents in Southeast Asia, or you can say SAMC, conclude that immigrant children were identified as having more symptoms of social problems, causing more problems, and being hyperactive. And because of their immigrant children, they feel unhappy and tend to be more passive in dealing with the problems that arise from themselves. And then why it all happens? Because, ladies and gentlemen, they need to adapt to the culture in the immigrant country, or let's say that it's a culture shock for them. Entering a different culture makes an individual stranger in that culture. When the individual is faced with the situation where his habits are adopted, or you can say that this, for example, if it is the Chinese who goes to America, they are going to feel a different habits there. Their habit that they used to do in China, they couldn't apply in America because America has a different culture itself. So they need time. They need to take time to adapt in that culture itself. So that's why I'm going to say that by living in an ethnic enclave, it would like to help them in their psychological side to be more, let's say that, to adapt in that situation. And then second, about the impact of living in ethnic enclave itself, the second is about they will feel free, they will feel secure or comfortable living in an ethnic enclave, or you can say that when they are living in an ethnic enclave, it means that the one who is living with them, they know each other, they have understand each other, they could help each other when they get problem. So that's why all the children, especially the first generation that they just come there, they will feel that they are in their own hometown, although they are in a different country. But by living in ethnic enclaves, they will feel the same as what they feel in the country itself. And then the third is about their economic side. Or let's say that when they immigrant or the first they are going to another country, it means they are going to get housing prices. Since the most immigrants arrive with a little money, they don't have the option to choose, so they take the road while travel. It means that when they go to another country, they need to find the place that, let's say that they are in their ethnic enclave, so they could get help by the housing prices. For example, if they're staying in the Chinese go to the America and then they stay in Chinatown, they are going to get lower price than they stay in another country, in another place, I mean. And then enclaves itself create an alternative labor market that is ethnic specific and does not demand social and cultural skills of the host country itself. And then by eliminating language and cultural barriers, enclaves economics employ a greater proportion of co-ethnics and speed the incorporation of the new immigration into a bustling economy. So let's say that they are helping each other. So the last I would like to state that it's all because is to strengthen the bilateral relationship between countries. Thank you.
I'm as the Deputy of Prime Minister, and here I would like to reveal our team argument, and I'm gonna deliver my argumentation itself. First, I'm gonna reveal the Prime Minister from my team. Our Prime Minister already told about the historical path of how this ethnic enclave was created. The first one is because of social economic side. In here, I asked the Deputy of Prime Minister, I'm gonna explain to you that there is three big reasons that how this ethnic enclave was created. The first one is because of slavery nations. The second one is about a violation and an unfair of act that happened to several ethnic. And the third is a good habitat of environment, so the immigration could continue their life on that several country itself. Okay, so if we look at this historical path, the first one is about the slavery nation. For example, if we look at the African American people, they are brought to America from the America tribe at the 18th centuries for being a slave in America itself. So at this pattern, we can see several African American people that are brought to being a slave. They are grouped and joined in one place or environment to create and to help each other because of what background that they feel and the same situation that they had. In here, the America itself at the path of the time itself, they are create a new celebration that called as a Juneteenth that celebrate at 19 June every single year to appreciate and celebrate the freedom of the African American people itself. Why? Because it is to show how ethnic enclave was improved in America itself. And the second case, if we look at the second reason how ethnic enclave was created, was we can say example by the Gypsy people in Europe. Gypsy people, who are they? They are the people that came from India and at the 8th and 9th century to Europe, and they already lived at that long time. But when war era, the Nazi, they are killed and enslaved these Gypsy people. Why? Because they have a different of the culture and tradition with another white person or a Europe person itself. This is to show how the people that feel the same background of this slavery nation and got killed, they are group each other to protect each other and save each other and help because they know how is independence they self. And the third reason is because a good habitat and environment that continue their immigration's life. For example, in Chinese people create a Chinatown in every single world. Why? Because they can using their trading business and continue it in every single world. Why? Because there is a good habitat and environment that give a good benefit for them to still continue their life and good environment for the next generation. Okay, come into my argumentations. In here, I'm gonna see this type of enclave gonna give a good protection and continuity of the value of their culture itself. The first one, if you look at the language itself, we're gonna continue and we're gonna protect this language because if we look at this kind of ethnic enclave, the people right there, they can create a new education system. They'll not forget about a new general education system that already happened on that new country, but they can give a new knowledge by their own or their parents or grandparents' hometown country itself. Like they're gonna give educations about what is their traditional food, how they're using their own indigenous language, and they're gonna protect it. And how if we not using or taking care about our children in the ethnic enclave and their improvement in that environment itself, if we not looking at this case more seriously, we can see the continuity of the culture itself gonna be disappear. How I say so, and why we can manage that thing. If we want to manage the thing, we should give knowledge and more education to the next generation of this immigrant who immigrate by give them education about the indigenous culture itself, so we can protect, we can secure, and we can give, and we can always keep this continuity of this culture indigenous itself by using a school and environment that help them. Okay, in here, if we look at the economic side, we can see if we protect this type of ethnic enclave, we can use a new type of open market for every people, even for the white person in the white country itself. How I can say so? Because in this new indigenous culture, they have a several job and several culture that can make a new job field for everyone, even not only for the people of the culture or the ethnic itself. For example, in Indonesian people, in outside of Indonesian itself, they can still celebrate Indonesian Independence Day with using a festival to appreciate their own Independence Day, even they're not in Indonesia. How they do it? They're doing a festival that's gonna give a traditional food, traditional clothes, traditional dance, and they're gonna give it to the public from that country itself. And this country, the people gonna know, oh, okay, we know this is the culture of Indonesia, and we know this came from Indonesia. And if we look at carefully, there is a thread of economic business right there. The people of white or the people from that indigenous place or the new place itself, they can work at the people, or for example in Indonesia, if there is a case in Australia and America, there's a couple that they are making a business of tahu gejrot and Indonesian traditional food, the other Indonesian food, and they give a job for people in that way country and Australia itself. This is a new trademark for these people. So we should need and we should give an ethnic enclave for people to keep their environment, their culture itself. So my last point, I'm gonna strike that in the goals of the education of these children and the continuity of life of the people of that ethnic, we should give a chance for them to keep protect their culture, continue their culture. So this culture gonna give a benefit not only for the people in that place and not only the people in that ethnic, but also give a impact, a benefit for the people on that new country and always keep their own culture safe. Thank you. That last from me. So thank you.